What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Jose here at the First Round Boys Show, where we bring you all football all the time. And today I have another exciting video for you guys. So it's been quite some time since I've actually done a video pertaining not to opening football cards. So today it's going to be a little bit different than usual, but nonetheless it's still talking football, so it's right up the channel's alley. And I know I don't really talk a whole lot about college football, but believe it or not, I actually follow college football probably a little bit more than the NFL. And it's a shame that my Texas Longhorns didn't make it into the playoffs, but that's a topic for another video or whatever. But today, what I'm going to be talking about is the college football playoff bracket and my predictions. If you guys have a different opinion than me, which you probably do, drop down in the comment section. Let me know what you agree with or disagree with me, and we can kind of go back and forth and see what we think and kind of go week by week. And I'm gonna try to do this weekly at the conclusion of every playoff game and kind of see what went wrong, what happened, or to see if I was wrong or if I was right on some of these. But I'm not gonna make this video too long, but let's dive right into this video. So of course we got a 12-team playoff bracket. The first game that I am going to predict is the Alabama versus OU game. This is actually going to be a really good game. This is about 30 minutes away from my house. So I was thinking about going to this game, but unfortunately due to work and other situations, I won't be able to attend. But as a football fan, I would love to be there. But I know OU has beaten Alabama the past two meetings, so it kind of feels like OU is Alabama's kryptonite, which is kind of crazy, especially beating them last year on their home turf, and then even this year going to Alabama and playing them and beating them on their own turf. And I'm actually kind of surprised that they made it into the playoffs, considering they lost to Georgia in the SEC title game. But a lot of people say you shouldn't be penalized for playing in the championship game, but why did they penalize BYU? But like I said, that's a topic for another video. But I don't know, man. This is gonna be probably the best game of round one. John Mateer is definitely gonna have to put on his big boy pants and produce like the first, like he was producing prior to his hand surgery. I think this is gonna pain me to say. It's gonna pain me to say because I hate OU with the passion, but I also hate Alabama with the passion. But I think I hate OU more. But I think OU is going to take this game I think it's going to come down to the wire to like a last second like field goal kick, or it's going to be like by like freaking 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I don't think it's going to be like an in-between game. So it's either going to be like a blowout or like you kick this field goal and that's going to win you the game. But I think OU is going to win it. It's going to be a damn good game. So I'm going to have OU over Alabama playing the University of Indiana in the next round. The next game here is we have JMU versus Oregon. I think we all have that same thought process when you see JMU even in the freaking playoff bracket. I think Oregon is going to wipe the floor with JMU. I'm sorry if you're a JMU fan, but I think Oregon blows them out by at least 20 to 30 points. So I see them facing Texas Tech next. Moving on to the other side of the bracket, I got Miami versus Texas A&M. I think this is going to be a banger of a game as well. I think Carson Beck is going to shit the bed in the game. I see Carson Beck probably throwing 2 or 3 interceptions, maybe sprinkling a fumble there. I think Texas A&M is going to win it. Mike Elko is going to move on to the next round. It pains me to say as a Texas fan too, but Texas A&M will take that one. We got Tulane, the Green Wave against Ole Miss. I think this game is actually going to be a lot closer than what people think. Tulane has been pretty good. I know Ole Miss is good, obviously, since they're in the playoffs, but I think this is going to be a very close game. I think Tulane is probably going to be up by like a couple of scores early on, and then Ole Miss is going to turn the Jets on and find a way to win and get like a couple of scores when it actually really, really matters. So I got Ole Miss winning that one, playing Georgia, A&M playing Ohio State. Now back to the other side of the bracket. So we got OU versus Indiana. So I might catch a lot of heat for this one. So Indiana is probably going to be like on a 3-game skid where they do not play any football. Mendoza is going to be really high on winning that Heisman Trophy. John Mateer, he's going to be like the talk of the playoffs after beating Alabama. I think OU going into Indiana is not going to be a task too big for OU and John Mateer. I think OU and John Mateer beat Indiana at Indiana. I think it's going to be a back and forth game, but I think John Mateer is going to do his thing and lead him over Indiana. So drop down to the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about that potential matchup. So on to the next. So we got Oregon versus Texas Tech. I don't know, man. I'm not a big believer in Texas Tech. Granted, I haven't sat there and watched like a full Texas Tech game, but I don't know. There's just something about Tech that I just don't trust. They didn't have the best like strength of schedule. I could be wrong, but I just don't see them beating Oregon, especially after what I predict. Oregon blowing out JMU again. Tech is gonna be like on a 2 or 3 week without like any activity. So I think that's gonna put them in a slump. I think it's gonna be a close game early on, and I think Oregon is gonna squeak on by. I think they're gonna probably win by at least a couple of touchdowns there. So Oregon over Texas Tech, and then over on the other side, so we're gonna have Texas A&M versus Ohio State. I know Ohio State is very upset that they did not win the Big Ten against Indiana. They're going to have vengeance on their mind. So I think Ohio State is going to take this game. Jeremiah Smith, I think, is going to have an incredible football game here. I think he probably has over 150 receiving yards with at least 2 touchdowns. Julian Sain has been playing phenomenal. So excited to see this matchup if it does happen. But I think this is where Texas A&M, where their party ends. On to the next. So Georgia versus Ole Miss. I don't know what Kirby Smart feeds his players, but god dang, freaking Georgia is the team to beat in the playoffs right now, besides some of these other teams, obviously. But Georgia is always come alive in the playoffs. I think they steamroll Ole Miss. I say they win by at least 20 points. Kirby Smart knows how to coach a good football team in the playoffs and keep his team level-headed. Gunnar Stockton, he's not afraid to come up big when it matters. He can take a hit. He can do it all. He can run. He can throw the ball. Pretty smart with the football. So, like I said, I think Georgia steamrolls Ole Miss. So back to the other side of the bracket. So we got OU versus Oregon. Unfortunately for OU, I think John Mateer does everything that he can do, but I don't think that defense will be able to keep up with Oregon. So I think Oregon is going to stop OU in its tracks. I think it's going to be a very close game. John Mateer does everything that he can to kind of save this game, but it's not enough, unfortunately, for them. So I got Oregon winning this game against OU, going to the college football championship. And then we got Ohio State versus Georgia. If you are a football fan, not even necessarily an Ohio State or a Georgia fan, but if you are a fan of the game, this is the game to watch. So Ohio State versus Georgia, 2 powerhouse teams that have been there before in the past. I don't even know who I'm going to pick in this game. I honestly think Georgia might get this game. Like I said earlier, Kirby Smart does indeed know how to prepare his football team, especially in the playoffs. So I think Georgia is going to outlast Ohio State's surgents. So that's going to be a good game. So my final 2 teams, I think it's going to be Oregon versus Georgia. And call me crazy, but I think Georgia's going to squeak out of this one. I don't think Oregon's defense is going to be able to keep up with Georgia's high-profile offense. They're really tough, not only physically, but very tough mentally as well. So I think Georgia's going to win the college football playoffs. Final score prediction, I'm going to say Georgia 33 to Oregon's 21. So nothing insane, but Georgia, we're going to get another Georgia championship, unfortunately. But let me know down in the comment section, what do you guys think? Who do you think is going to win the college football championship this year? What upsets do you have possibly in mind? What do you guys think is going to happen? Let me know down in the comment section if you agree or disagree. But yeah, super excited to get these playoffs started. Looking forward to Friday. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
When you beat the Georgia Bulldog, you gonna feel a bulldog bite.
One more time. One more time.
When you beat the Georgia Bulldog, you gonna feel a bulldog bite.